Hey guys, JHMiller01 here, and welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about how I started crappie fishing. And no, this isn't about bass fishing or anything like that. It's about crappie fishing because, I haven't posted but one video about crappie fishing on my channel. But you guys don't know, I am a huge crappie fishing fan. I love it. It's so fun. So, let's get right into it. But before we do, I just want to talk to you guys about the situation I'm in right now. I'm filming with my iPad, as you can probably tell. I shot a video last night with my GoPro at 1080p 30. I tried exporting it to my iPad, it just didn't want to do it. So here we go, second take is from my iPad. Sorry about, the quality fishing videos. I'm never using this again, so I'm gonna make it work with the GoPro. But for this video, I'm gonna be using the iPad. So let's get right into it. So I started crappie fishing around maybe 2011, I think. Somewhere like that. I think it's 2011. So my dad and I went up to this lake. It was really hot at the time. We've been hearing about it. We all heard it was on fire. And it sure was. The state limit for a single person was 37. And we both caught our limits that day. And every day we go up there, we catch at least 60. And we catch some 16 inches. This picture that you're seeing right now is of my dad's 16-inch crappie. I didn't catch it, and the quality is really bad because it was shot on my dad's iPhone 3 or 4, I don't remember, but it was really bad quality. But that's what I have. Every other time we go out there, we would catch at least one 14 or 15 incher, and I just got really into crappie fishing. I don't even know why. I started liking it more and more every time I went. So 2012, 2013, the lake just shut off. There was not a bite. You go out there and catch 20 at max. That's good for some people, but for us that was that's not good. But let me go over some of the methods that we use to catch those fish. Method number one is just a simple crappie jig, and I started off first using Bobby Garland crappie jigs. They are an awesome company. If you haven't ever used them for crappie fishing, you gotta check them out. I'll leave a link in the description. But that's what I started off with. I was using the Slab Slayer, which is the link in the description that you're getting. It was amazing. The color I was using, I think, is like bluegrass or something like that, in a chartreuse tail. It was amazing. I just go down there, drop it down on a regular jig head, and hadn't been 30 seconds, I just get one. It's so good. I love that company and their lures. It is so good. I recommend you guys using them. And they're pretty good for if you want to get something cost effective. They're really good for that too. But method number two is something that I normally don't do, but my dad does it all the time, and we seem to go out there and catch them. You get a bobber, and as you can see, it's really dark outside. It's like 9 o'clock, so I can't just pull up everything I have and show you. But you get a nice size bobber, and you want a bobber stopper, so you can stop it at the right depth, obviously, so you can know exactly what depth they're at. And you get a regular hook. I think it's like a snail hook or something like that. I don't remember for sure. But you take a minnow, and you hook it right, the back fin, you hook it right through the back of it, barely, and you just drop it down. And especially if they're spawning, you will catch crappie like crazy like that. But the third method, which I didn't even think about until now, which also works. If you're using a crappie jig and you aren't catching them, if you're using a minnow, you're not catching them, you gotta try this. What you do is you get the same crappie jig, same thing, and you get a minnow and you hook it right through the nose and the mouth, and you just drop it down. And my dad, we'd catch maybe 10 together on crappie jigs, maybe 7 together on minnows, and we catch like 25 together on this. I don't even know why it works, but it does. But that's the 3 methods I use. And the things that you really got to know when you're crappie fishing is know your lake. Know exactly what lake or river you're fishing in, and know exactly what it's like. If it's always hot in that lake, if it's a power plant lake, if it's always cool, you got to know that. Weather factors in. Cold fronts and warm fronts, they will throw the fish off. You got to factor in the lake. You got to know where they're at. And our specific lake that we were going to had a tree line at the very back of the lake. And it was maybe a mile or a mile and a half across, and we'd have a south or a west side and an east side, and right in the middle. And they would always be in one of those three spots, if not all of them. But you just had to find them, find what depth they're at. 9 feet to 12 feet is usually where we caught ours on. But that was for our specific lake. So you gotta know your lake. Second, you gotta know what the fish are like. You gotta know if they're finicky, if they're really, just not biting. You gotta know what to use. I would recommend, if they're finicky, I would use minnows, honestly. But, whenever the bite is really hot, just drop a crappie jig down. You will catch one for sure. But you gotta know how the fish are like. And third, I said in the beginning, you gotta know the weather. If it's gonna be 90 degrees outside, you gotta know, okay, so what depth should they be at? What should I use? How deep should I fish it? You gotta know all that stuff, especially in crappie fishing. Bass fishing for sure, but a lot of people think crappie fishing you can just drop down and catch one. Some cases that's true, but not all the time. You just gotta know the weather. Make sure you know everything about where you're fishing, the weather, and how the fish are like at that particular lake or river. So I just wanted to drop some tips for you guys, so whenever crappie season comes up, if it hasn't already started for you guys, so you'll know how to catch crappie. If you guys haven't subscribed, go ahead and click down below and subscribe. You'll see more informative videos like this one, and you will definitely love my Fishing with James series. It's awesome. Recommend it. And go ahead and drop a like down below if you liked this video. And if you have somebody that wants to get into fishing, go ahead and send them a link to this video, or, crappie fishing, if they've never done it, send them a link to this. They will definitely like it, and I hope you guys do too. So, until next time, J. Schmiller 01 out. See ya!